AI texturing sucks, and here's why. This is a rock I just generated using Roblox's texture generator, and, well, it kind of sucks. I kind of want to talk about why I feel like some of these AI texture generators are never going to be as good as a human is going to be at texturing. What I kind of want to start with was why it won't be able to texture like a human, and I could be very wrong, and AI is just changing so quickly that it's impossible to know what is coming. But as of right now, it's hard for AI to texture like us currently with the knowledge that we have. And kind of what I'm talking about here is why we make some of the choices we do when texturing. And for the most part, I'm talking about stuff like, paint chips, or where the metal is polished, or where it's wearing. So like, say you had like a gun, right? And a lot of this wear is going to be on places where it's actually being used. So like the gunmetal on the handle is going to be wearing down from constant use. Maybe the barrel is all scratched from hitting rocks and stuff. It doesn't know where these details should be, and I don't think it will be, at least maybe for a while. We'll see, obviously. It doesn't have the real-world experiences that we do and the knowledge of how stuff actually gets created. It doesn't know where to put things like weld lines, and it puts these things based on these algorithms and these percentage chances that it's right and that stuff belongs there, but doesn't actually know why. The why of why you would put these things there. Now, the next thing I also wanted to talk about was the style of texturing. And when you have all these people that are generating these textures and they're all using these same prompts, hey, I want to have a gold treasure chest, right? It's every single time it's going to generate close to the same thing. There's going to be no variation, and every single game is going to look like it came off an assembly line. We still need people to texture themselves, because you get that variation, that human experience. Everyone has a different perspective on life based on their learned experience, and that's why everyone does things differently. If you had 100 different people texture a treasure chest or whatever, right? They're all going to look different. But with AI, we could see a world where they're all the exact same if you use the same prompt, right? Additionally, with these tools, we're able to choose this style. And overall, when you're texturing something, you're able to create this consistency throughout everything you've made. And that's big for game development, because you need everything to be consistent when you're creating a game. But with AI, something might look good on one model, and then you're prompting it for a different model with the same style, and it just can't replicate it. And you need this kind of consistency for the art direction of your game. Now, one thing it is also still getting wrong is just the technical aspects of texturing. Stuff like seams, stretching, and UVs, it still struggles with. Look at this lantern I just generated. And while honestly it looks pretty good, some of the things it's screwing up are the simple UV stuff. Like this great texture, it shouldn't be on this. This should just be flat metal. But it thinks that this is, this grate continues up here, which it shouldn't. That should be the end, because this is the polygon little outline right here. And for the most part, this is a very good texture, but there's still some small things that it just can't do. Like this line is completely off where this UV should be. Like there's no line here, but there is a line here. So it's just these inconsistencies that we're gonna see, and it just ruins stuff. And this is my hand textured one, where while it might be a little less detailed, everything is correct on this texture. And then obviously I have the control to hand paint little details. Maybe I want this lantern to be cracking and stuff, and you just get this artistic control that you don't have when you're trying to generate something with prompts. Lastly, I kind of wanted to talk about just the ethics of maybe using AI for texturing. And as you might know, AI is basically trained on stuff that other artists have created before. It's this stolen artwork that it generates all these algorithms based off of, that it's trained on, right? But everyone is unique in their own way, that if we're just prompting AI, we never get to see what someone is thinking in their own mind. In my opinion, not just AI texturing, but AI art in general, it defeats the whole point of art. because art is supposed to be this portrayal of what you were going through as a human. It represents, even in like music, painting, it's like a time capsule of how you are feeling, like your emotions. And when you're using AI, it doesn't have these emotions. It doesn't know about the human condition or anything you're going through. It's just recreating these pixels based on what it's been told. I truly believe that art is one of the few things we have to hold on to as humans. This AI art and texturing could potentially ruin our creativity. I think it's important that you still make an effort to do things by hand and create art. I understand there's a ton of stuff where this AI texturing is great. I think for things like background assets and stuff that, isn't supposed to stand out too much, I think it is a good thing to speed up the workflow, right? But for some of the assets in your game, it's going to be important that you actually hand texture these things and you think about the why when you're texturing. Because the humans, they bring storytelling into the textures. We know the why of what we're doing when we're texturing. Why is there mud on the boot where it is? Why is the sword chipped on the hilt? You can think of, like, you can create these elaborate stories also in your texturing. And with AI, it can't really replicate with AI, at least right now. So I think while AI texturing is very fast and it's very good, I think there's a time and a place for it. And I think the place is in some of these background assets where it's not as important. This could all be outdated and wrong literally like within the year, but I think you should still take the time to hand texture. Sorry if that's a long like little rant, but I think it's an important thing to talk about, and I think it's an important discussion to have as AI it rapidly is changing the landscape of how we do these things as artists and as game developers.